Hey, what's going on, my friend? Here are 5 things that your local business can learn from digital marketers. My name is Josh. Welcome to the War Plan Briefing. If you're a small business owner that loves God, family, country, and capitalism, you're going to love this video and love this channel. And let's talk about cross-pollination. Let's talk about information siloing. So I heard this term from Jay Abraham years ago about how different markets or different industries, vertical markets, you have your carpet cleaners is like a thing, and you have dentists, and you have chiropractors, and you have like auto manufacturers. There's different silos of best practices inside of industries. And one of the things that Jay Abraham, who's one of the highest paid business consultants in the world, by the way, $50,000 a day plus equity in your company, he talks about how information gets trapped in these silos. But there's so much power and leverage in borrowing concepts. And so that's what we're going to go over today is what are some things that's done over here that maybe you're not aware of or you hadn't thought of that could be applied to your business. For me, I started with a local window cleaning business just south of Flint, Michigan, grew it to just under a couple $100,000 a month in revenue, automated it. We cleaned windows. And then I sold it. When I sold it, I got into software and I got into education. So I made courses and I built communities and programs and events. And we had mastermind groups. And so those are 3 different things entirely. All of those, we can have our own conversation about like the nuance and complexity of making a business like that work. But here's some things I learned as a digital marketer that's made millions of dollars on the internet after also having a local business. The first thing that marketers understand online better than the typical local small business owner is that it's all about the offer. It's all about the offer. If you follow Alex Hormozy on YouTube, he's blowing up. He gives so much insane free value. He has a book called $100 Million Offers. It's an amazing book. Go buy it, read it 3 times, take notes, scribble in it, read it like a textbook. And the whole book's about offers. So local businesses, they accidentally sell their stuff like a commodity. And because you get trained in the habit to just give your price, people call, what's your price? Here's my price. And they call 3 people. You're missing the beauty and the profit that lies in backing up and creating an offer. There's a difference between creating an offer and just selling your product or service. An offer is the way that you articulate all the components nested inside of your service. So if you power wash houses, for example, at a minimum, we want to be selling packages, which I think most people do these days. You have your good and your better and your best. But really an offer is digging into and opening the hood on each of these packages and thinking of clever, powerful, persuasive ways to articulate each thing or component that's inside the package. Imagine this, you go give a bid to a customer. And, company A tells them it's $500 to wash their house. Company B says it's $600. And then you come along and you have an actual offer. You don't just give a price to wash their house. You're going to unpack the ultimate house wash bundle for them. And then you're going to spend 5 or 10 minutes helping them understand the first thing you're going to get, Mr. Jones, is our this and this and this, our 5-point safety inspection before we even unload the truck. The second thing that you're going to get is you're going to get, a pre-rinse of all of your plants to protect them and the safety of this. The third thing you're going to get is this. The fourth step or the fourth thing is this. And then you keep going. And this is called a stack. And you have this massive stack. And it's you articulating maybe what you're already doing, but you're doing it in a way more powerful, persuasive way. Okay. So when you're $700, they're going to pick you over the other people, right? And if they don't, that just means that they're a bottom barrel buyer, and that's fine. The world needs Dollar General, but Louis Vuitton exists too, right? So it's not about tricking people. It's about communicating what they get for their $700. And a lot of small companies, they write the price on a business card and hand it to people. It's insanity. Marketers on the internet know that can't happen because everything's happening just in the internet. It's happening really fast. The offer needs to be irresistible. You can add bonuses into your offer, and you should. You can have risk reversal with different levels in your offer, and that means the guarantee for how long you guarantee the work is bigger in the big package, for example. There's so much you can do. It's like baking a cake. There's lots of ingredients. You mix and match, you test it, and get really good at doing your offer. The second thing that you can learn from a digital marketer is that it's all about emotion. Sales is a transference of enthusiasm. It's an enthusiasm transplant. Sometimes I teach this concept called the Gordon Irwin effect, Gordon Irwin. And it's a play on words representing, Steve Irwin and Gordon Ramsay. So Gordon Ramsay, Steve Irwin. And both of these guys are examples of people that had nerdy, magnetic enthusiasm. Now, for an online marketer, that might come through in a video where they're being a little larger than life. They're exaggerating. A good rule of thumb on video is to be 20% more than you normally are, at least, just to appear normal on camera. And so if I was just talking to Will, my studio guy here, and we're having a conversation, I'm not going to be like, hey, Will, how's your day? How's it going? Hey, welcome to the Warplane Briefing. No, it's amplified a little bit because we want to create emotion. And local businesses sometimes forget this. And it comes down to every step in the process. For a marketer, it's the words on the page, which we'll talk about in a minute, and the colors and the imagery and the storytelling. The same is true for a local business. The way you answer the phone, the tone you have, the pacing. Do you talk really fast and then slow down? And the emphasis, right? Emphasis alone can change the entire definition of a sentence. I heard an example online about, let me just walk you through this. It's really interesting. So imagine this sentence here. I didn't say he hit his wife, okay? If we change our emphasis, it redefines the whole meaning of the sentence. Here's what I mean. I didn't say he hit his wife. 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 Right? So there's like 6 meanings from 6 different emphases. It's like 80% of communication is non-words, right? And so it's your tone. And when you're on the telephone, which is where a lot of the relationship begins for local businesses, you have to crush it. If you need to raise your energy, stand up when you're fielding a phone call, for example. Stand up, mirror your customer, right? Because creating the right state when you're interacting with them, not just on the phone, but when you go sell them and when you go do the work and when you're asking for referrals, is a huge, gigantic, totally overlooked advantage for your business. Imagine if you did it like that for the next 12 months. Would you make $86,000 more dollars? Would you make $463,000 more dollars? I don't know, but it would be a lot, right? Third thing is that online marketers, because they have to be, are obsessed with numbers. And when you hang out with a bunch of dorks that make money on the internet, which these are my people, so shout out to all my dorks, they talk about KPIs and metrics all the time. What's your CTR? What's your ROAS? What's your conversion rate, right? Did you split test that? Oh, what was your average order value, your average cart value? And there's all these things. And because when you're spending money on the internet, you spend $1,000 in ads, which gives you 842 clicks or whatever, and then those clicks turn into X amount of sales, and then the people that bought, you upsell them this other thing, but only 14% of the people bought the other thing. It's this giant math problem. And so what they're trying to figure out are the economics to answer this one question for themselves. Can I scale this? Can I scale it? Will I lose money or will I make money? And it's continuous measurement and iteration. With a local business, this is way less common. It's not common. It's not uncommon for the high achievers, people that are doing 5, 10 million or more in their business. They know their numbers like the back of their hand. I could call Tommy Mello right now and ask him what his close rate was yesterday, and he would know because he's got a nationwide gigantic company. Because you have to know your numbers. Little businesses usually don't know their numbers. I ask them, how much revenue did you do last year? And most of them know that, but not even all of them know that. Then I'll say, what's your target for this year? How much, what's your gap? What is the difference? What's your average ticket, right? What's your average customer value per year? What's your EBITDA? What's your profit number? And then when it comes to marketing channels, they don't know. They spend $500 a month on Google ads to some agency, and they have no idea if that makes sense for them or not. Absolutely none. And then they're mixing like the free calls they get from Google just organically from people searching their business. They think like their $500 created that. You were going to get these calls anyway. How many calls did you get from the ad spend itself? And if you are hiring an agency, which a lot of agencies love it that you're confused, okay, because then they make a lot more money. Just wait 3 to 6 months, Mr. George. You ever hear that? You ever hear that from an agency? Oh yeah, it takes 6 months. Just be patient. And out of your $500, maybe $100 is even being spent on ads. You have to know your numbers because math is the path, right? Math is the path. We don't have to be scared of it. You don't have to be a genius, but you gotta do it unless you just want to be stuck. The fourth thing is word butter. Word butter. This is what I call copywriting, because good copy, good choreographed communication that creates the right emotion, pre-frames the right thought, puts a seed of doubt for the right doubt they should have, and future paces the right future that they want to have. There's so much you can learn regarding copy, and digital marketers know how big of a deal this is. Local businesses don't, and I understand why. If you're an HVAC company and you're just fighting the good fight and you got a couple trucks, okay, it doesn't seem to be at the top of the list to like rewrite all the words on your website, right? The website exists. If you need HVAC, call us. Here we go. And you can waste time getting too psycho with this, but I would argue that most local business owners don't spend enough time looking at the language of their emails that they send to customers, the frequently asked questions on their website. They're boring, they're corporate, they're sterile, they're dry, and they're not persuasive. They're not creating emotion. They're not pre-framing your company correctly. These are things to consider that all digital marketers know. You have to nail this or you're screwed. Just changing the headline of an ad, just the headline. You could have the same video or the same image, the same copy, but just the headline being changed can 27x the amount of clicks and engagement that an ad gets. Words matter. The Bible says there's life and death in the power of the tongue, right? Words have the power to create and destroy, and that includes your bank account. And last but not least, digital marketers focus and obsess over making noise and creating traffic. And so on the internet, we call clicks traffic, which is interesting because it kind of dehumanizes it, because technically, clicks to your stuff, it's just humans. It's humans reading your copy and seeing your pictures and your videos and stuff. So it's humans, but we need more traffic. Local business owners market like a mouse. They market really quiet. They're too timid. They're too scared. Because they know they're not perfect. They're like, well, I got to update that thing first, and then I'm going to, and they're talking themselves out of sales. And digital marketers can't do that. You can't build a funnel to sell your product and never have anyone click it. The same thing is true for your local business. You can't sell your wares and sell your services if no one calls you, emails you, DMs you on social, or however they contact you. You need traffic. And here's something to keep in mind. You do not have to create customers. You do not have to create customers. They already exist. They're already doing business. There's already transactions happening all around you. What you're doing, but with good marketing, is you're tapping into deal flow that already exists. And Bill is going to pay $300 to someone to do this thing in this next 14-day window. Do you want it to be you? If you want it to be you, you have to get noisier. You have to get attention, right? He's spending it anyway. And I think we have this false notion that we have to wander through our local town and just convince people that don't want our stuff that they should totally buy our stuff. And that's not really true. That can happen, but that's not how you don't need to be like that to grow, because even in a small market, if you're a carpet cleaner in Wichita and you're struggling, you probably don't realize there's like $6 million a month in cleaning transactions happening where you already are. It's already happening. Can we scoop off 200,000 a month of that? Can we scoop off $500,000 of the 6 million? Yes, you can, but you can't do it if you market like a mouse. Hey, are you getting value out of this video? Are you excited to finish the year strong? Where are you at in your business? Tell me in the comments. I want to interact with you. I want to have a dialogue, not just a monologue. I care about you. I'm rooting for you, and I'll see you in the next video.